Hey OGS, how are you doing? Nothing too exciting today. Quick high, I assume, because you're gonna go to sleep. Why is my Ryzen Master borked? So on this, there we go. Why do we want? We don't want temp display. On this board, on the Unify X, they don't support the 5000 series. 330. Wow. You got some good scores out on the 4090. Congrats on those. Hopefully we'll get to see some more. It's not the end of Raptor Lake for sure. So the temp display should be sort of visible. 34 degrees, 33 degrees, 34 degrees. Yeah. Let's try my best to put up that camera. Camera right here. I should probably just use some sort of like readout, like using an EVC or something. Okay, so what's the setup today? We've got Cezanne, so the 5000 series APU, the 5300G, which is an OEM only part that I bought from AliExpress. So 4-core 8-thread. And why is it exciting? Because AMD is still first for core counts, in which, like, the core counts that exist on AMD basically. So on an unlocked chip, so 4-core, 6-core, 8-core, 12-core, 16-core. In GPU Pi specifically, AMD is still faster than even than Raptor Lake, I think. I haven't been keeping up, but I think even than Raptor Lake. And I bought the Unify X because it was stupid cheap. But one of the issues, I like that this utility has some hotkeys built into it, but the multi-control doesn't work. I won't even demonstrate it here because it might lock the multi to 4, but I can use it for core voltage. What I wanted to try just straight off the bat is yesterday I put up a 5G run. So let's just wait for the actual vCore to change. So that's fine. So vCore and BCLK are fine in Command Center. What's this weird light? It's always difficult to stream during the day because lighting is weird. So I've got my, let's just open up Zen timings as well. These aren't the tightest timings ever, but I've got 1:1:1 memory, F clock and U clock. Strangely enough, 2300 on ambient. Yeah, I'm gonna get LN2. So in terms of 100M, the highest ambient score, I know the 5300G hasn't been run much because it is an OEM only chip, but the highest ambient score is like a chiller score by Ovis, who usually has a really strong chiller, and he's only doing 4.75, so 5G is really good. I know my ambient last night was like 15 degrees or something, so take it with a grain of salt sort of thing. But then I'm also only on a tower cooler, so you know, it's sort of like give and take. But what I'm not pushing is the F clock because I'm already at 1.3 VSOC, and I don't really see the need of pushing it because on cold it will go different. Yeah, HP pre-build, it will go totally different on cold anyway, and I don't want to degrade my chip on ambient just trying to push the F clock. But I did see F clock scaling on for GPU Pi and with the timings as well. So I'm just running something like 1T 4533 with synced F clock, CL14, and I think I already showed my timings, but it's nothing too fanciful. It's weird how T-Refi is not selectable. Is that a Ryzen thing? I've called the stream reunification because at one point I only owned one AM4 chip, which was this bin 1400, which is just a joke. but now I've picked up. This was like the price of a meal for two people, or even less. Like, it's ridiculous how cheap 8 cores have gone, to the point where an FX 8 core in Australia is sometimes more expensive than an AM4 first gen Ryzen 8 core. So 1700, I have some unfinished business with X265 4K there. The 1400 is just for shits and giggles. Well, here's the case for the chip that's currently in the system. And then there's 70 pointers on the 3600. So I've started buying some of those. And this, you might find, is really interesting. Your mileage may vary in terms of what you can buy from a retailer. But a local retailer here in Sydney recently had a special for 159 Australian dollars for new in box 3600s, and the batch, I'll read it off now, it's insanely new, 2218 PGS. So if the whole theory of newer batch equals potentially better clocker, at least ambient is good, then this will be a really rocking chip. But all depends on how you can what F clock it will full pot add and how much VSOC it needs for that. And then I bought just one used, which is a 2019 one, which is more what you would expect, right? Is a 2019 Ryzen. So I think my story with AM4 has been I own a Crosshair 6 initially, then I own a Crosshair 7. I still own the Crosshair 7, but it's a 4 dimmer for this. So for this sort of stuff, it probably hits its limits. I mean, it's a great board because it'll support everything from Bristol Ridge to 5000 series. And actually, I wanted to run Bristol Ridge today, but the chip was DOA, so I'm getting another chip. I'm determined to run that weird ass what is it, 28 nanometer AM4 DDR4 chip. So I'll bin. I just want to see how this board goes for me. I'll bin through 3600s. Even some other chips like 3900Xs are really cheap now and stuff. But let's, without too much, so that's why I'm calling the stream Reunification, because the board is called a Unify X. I'm going back to AM4 benching after quite a break, so I'm being reunified with the socket. Anyway, it's a dumb joke. It's a dumb like play on words, but sometimes that's all you've got. Okay, so 5G is applied. So it's giving me 40 idle. So yesterday I think I had more like 35 idle. So let's see if that will affect our result here. Let's just go now. Okay, so obviously ambient is critical on air cooling. I like that boot screen though. Will it? So with higher ambient, I'm trying to think, do I then compensate for that by lowering vCore? I'm not much of an ample ambient bencher, as you can imagine. Let's just, out of curiosity, try a little bit higher. See what happens there. So 42 idle. I don't think it really does much to the idle. So I think it failed at the okay, well, good luck sleeping, Stavros. Yeah, at that point, sometimes it feels like you could just. Okay, so let's watch our load. So it's hitting 60 load. I wonder if I should also consider the whole fan profile stuff for the CPU. I don't necessarily want to run the fans on full speed because they do get noisy, even though they're like these Noctos, which are supposed to be really good for being quiet and all that. Maybe I need to just set a slightly more aggressive profile. I'll also show you the score I got. I'll give you the context of what the rankings look like. So obviously a GPU Pi 1B version 3.2 is a globals bench. So here is the context. So given that I can do 5G for 100M, it's only 5.6 is only a 14% overclock. I'm feeling like 5.6 is like very, very likely, and then we'll have to see how the last little bit goes. I'm prepared to pull like memory channels and lower the F clock like crazy. Maybe if I get really, really close, but I don't get there, delid the chip. But here we are. So, and here's where the really balls to the wall Intel ends up here. So not, I mean, it's competitive, but not that competitive. So I do have a 4-core Intel as well, but it's pointless. So I did beat OVAs. Yeah, so definitely AMD first. I mean, if 6.1 is 2 minutes 13 versus AMD 5.7, I mean, AMD has always been better in GPU Pi, right? So this was yesterday's score, which is at the lower V core, so maybe that'll make it faster. Yeah, 6.226 versus 6.246. But of course now, maybe we can like sneakily add like 100. They've really improved Ryzen Master, by the way. It's got all these like fancy little things for toggling things off and on. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure someone will correct me, Sevi, but the general gist of things on AM4 is soldered for CPUs, pasted for APUs. Now, I believe 3rd gen APUs or something were some sort of a weird exception to that. So certainly, I mean, obviously, always take care delidding stuff. Make doubly sure that it is actually pasted. But from what I've sort of interacted with, I think 4th and 5th gen APUs and 2nd gen APUs were pasted, but there should really be a master list for this stuff. It's quite frustrating. I mean, we've gone back and forth so much, right? Like the Intel 3rd through 8th gen was pasted, 9th through 13th gen is soldered for the K SKUs, but then now the Alder Lake non-K SKUs that you BCLK, by all accounts, are pasted, right? So yeah, it's a bit weird. Let's see if we can complete 1.55. So my best score is for the longer preset is at 4.9. So let's try like 4.950. Whoops. Did I not hit apply? Oh, it's enter to set for all cores and then hit apply to actually do it. I want 1B. Okay, so what'd be nice? Oh, a master list, yeah. So let's watch our time. 60. I think if we hit 70, yeah. It's such a shame it's sunny today. Yeah, daytime streams are just bit of a mixed bag. Okay, I'll try the same at 1.5. I just want to get a run out so I can talk more because all the setting of settings. So I've got GD 900 under the IHS, not under the IHS, under the cooler. I mean, I could have run chiller, but it's just such a double-edged sword because you then get, because it's basically like an aircon unit, right? You basically get that heat on me. It won't be on the chip, but I'll just suffer more streaming. So it's very much like pick your poison. Do you want worse clocks, or do you want a hotter bench room? I already, you know, my here comes a little bit of a rant. My neighbor is has a tendency to talk on the phone for hours in his backyard, and that's annoying when I'm streaming because that sort of means I can't open my door for a bit of fresh air, right? Because his conversation might be on the stream, and that's not really, that's like what's that name for surveil, like recording? There's a name in the US for like single party, what is it called? Single party consent. If you're a single party consent state, that means you can have a phone in your pocket recording your conversation with a second person, and that's legal and it's admissible in court. Well, there's not many of those states in the US, and Australia definitely, like New South Wales, the state I live in, definitely isn't a single party consent state. So I could get in hot water for that kind of thing. God damn it. Hey, Palzen. F-Zero. Yeah, that camera is starting to annoy me. Gonna see if I can darken it a bit. Maybe I can. All right, there we go. I think that might be better now. Oh, I shifted it. There we go. Okay. I think the easiest thing to do would be to see if I can pass at the previous settings, because that's not a guarantee. I actually did it at 1.45. Hey, Spit. Yeah, I think that 67, 68 sort of area, it becomes a little bit dodgy. I wouldn't want it to go much higher than that, but I think it's steady stating now with the two fans spinning like crazy. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about while this 2-minute run is going on. So in broad terms, here are the GPU pi for CPU tweaks. You've obviously got your batch size and reduction. You've got your OpenCL runtime selection. You've got in Benchmade versus not in Benchmade, and then you can obviously bin versions of Windows 10, but then the big thing would be as well Windows 7 versus Windows 10. 7 tends to be a bit lighter. That's kind of it. Then obviously it scales pretty much linearly with core clock, but you can also do motherfuck. Can I somehow? It's just not like getting rid of the heat, eh? This is an opportunity to show you MSI bias though, which I like. Is it under settings? Yeah. Okay, so this is what I want to change. I want maybe the baseline could even go up a bit, let's say 40% as a baseline, and then I want 100% at 60. Wow, that's already loud. What does 30% sound like? I guess I'll have to live with it. Can I do 49 straight out of bias, I wonder? Yeah, so those are the main things: are OS selection, OpenCL version selection, batch and reduction size. There's priorities. Well, I saw slower with real time priority, but that might be OS dependent as well. Used to be, especially on the low core count stuff. High prior or real time priority helps usually. And then I'm gonna try run within Benchmade and not within Benchmade. If 1B doesn't finish, I can do the same sort of tests, let's say, in 100M. How's everyone doing? Are you all busy benching already? Like I said, I'm getting a fill up this week, so that's exciting. To do something that's not Team Cup, that's not Raptor Lake. I don't have Raptor Lake yet. I still only have the well, the Z690 Tachyon is a good board. I don't think the Z790 is out yet. See, we're still hitting 67 degrees. It's like, yeah, that's okay. I'll just do 100M runs. I don't mind. Wow, I didn't think Ambien had this much of a influence on stuff. Okay, same deal, 100M to find something that satisfies. Actually, we already have the solution, or we already have clock supplied. So same deal. So OS wise, I only just built this OS, and there may be a bit of a struggle to get Win7 working, but that's certainly an option to squeeze out a few seconds here or there. Otherwise, let's try this vCore 5G. Even something like a server OS might work. Okay, so it does need the 1.5 vCore for that. Okay, we'll try 1.5 again. Or it passed 1.55, didn't it? And that was on the lower fan core curve as well. Let's retry. F0. It's the other thing, the IMC, depending on how hot the IMC gets. God damn it. I wish I could have just streamed at night. I just couldn't. I didn't have the time. So it was this or nothing. Let's just give it a... Oh. First impressions on the border. I mean, it's a bit of a shame that... I'll show you the memory. It's a bit of a shame that the InOS tools are not working. That's always what happens with MSI. MSI doesn't have that sort of commitment to like XOC. So I mentioned it earlier, but I'll go over it again. So obviously synced F-clock and DRAM 4533. Like my sticks can do 4933, but I didn't feel comfortable pushing more VSOC. It's already at 1.325, and I needed more for 2300. So I don't know if this chip is very good with F-clock, but all I care about is the cores because GPU Pi is so heavily core related. And I mean the RAM is just really like, I mean I can obviously bring in RAS and TRC and TRFC a lot, but I just sort of did a semi sort of reasonable C14 1T profile. Hopefully my neighbor shuts up and I can open this door, open both doors, get a bit of a draft going. So this balcony faces east, so in the mornings it's really hot. So I had sort of put into my schedule that this stream was going to be in 3 hours ago, and it was just unbearable in here. But now the sun has sort of moved south, where it's like this is now in shadow and it's starting to cool down, even though it's now the hottest part of the day. It's actually already getting cooler in this room specifically. I needed 1.55. Just be nice to be able to run just flat 5G. Let's do flat 5G. Let's do it. Well, not quite. Let's be greedy and add that 0.1 VCLK that I also added to my other score to make it actually show up as 5 in the screenshot, because this board has below 100 VCLK stock for whatever goddamn reason. Mamma mia. I'm already triggered. Here's the room cam again. I've got a Elmore order behind me here, and then I've got my ITX router board build over here, and some extra cards. But yeah, pretty tidy otherwise, if I can say so myself. XOC bias. I'm not aware. What does the XOC bias bring? Sometimes the compiling step can be heavier than the bench itself. So if you really want to push, you can run the compile beforehand. It's a bit like Waza in 32M. Sometimes the Waza can be heavier than the 32M. Let's just get a pass out, guys. Let's just get a pass. Not liking what I'm seeing. Did anyone catch the temps? Were the temps too high? Or can I push it a little bit more? Hey, Exaberries. Hey, Mikey. 2.4 VDIM, as if you would ever need that on DDR4. A full AMD CVS. Can you like elaborate? 60C is still fine. Okay, maybe I can. I think I should lower, for the sake of sanity. I'm gonna lower the multi in bias. I think 65 is still fine during the run. Stop boot looping. It's got pretty good. Maybe it's just that the later GSs are just better at posting than what I remember when I used to run this. But this board seems to have pretty solid post behavior. Like it just fails cleanly or it succeeds cleanly. It doesn't like hang and stuff. Yeah, Sebi, I still don't really know. I mean, first of all, I don't know what would be missing from CBS on this board. I've had a glance in there and it seems to be complete. And then secondly, if there were to be something missing, I don't know if I'd miss it, if I'd like want it or need it. Yeah, let's be greedy. Not a millivolt higher. Don't let me do it. Okay, now we're on 43. 47. 50. I'm watching it. 55, 57, 59. Worse. Somehow worse. Yeah, I mean, I'm aware with AMD CBS, I have it on my crosshair. I'm just more curious as to why you'd want it for actual benching. I mean, IDA is not a high robot ranked bench. Okay, let's happy medium. Let's try 1.25. 1.525. That won't apply unless I've already applied this. 1.525. Looks fine. Now apply this. Yeah, seems like a 1 or 2 degrees lower. Let's do it. I just want a setting that will. Fuck. Oh yeah, let's just go 25 megahertz lower. Let's go 1.58 core, 4975, no BCLK. I find it so funny that there's a 5500 and there's I think a 5600 non-X and there's even a 50. What was it? there was like an in-between SKU that was released, wasn't there? So launch was 5950X, 5900X, 5800X, 5600X, but then they released a 5900 non-X, and it's like it's still an unlocked SKU, right? Because AMD doesn't really do locking on high core count chips, unlike Intel, which do like 13900 non-Ks and stuff. Yeah, 5500. Is that even like a different micro arc, or what is it? I haven't kept up. You know, basically post launch, I haven't kept up with any of the new SKUs because it's Cezanne. Okay, be right back. While that is trying to post. I mean, that trick is as old as the world, isn't it? Misleading naming on SKUs. Nvidia just tried it and got caught out pretty much. Okay, 1.5, no BCLK. Go those 25 megahertz lower. I could like Corbin, but for the sake of getting some passes out. Okay, let's watch our attempts. Okay, 6265 as opposed to 6226. That's surprisingly good. No, you can do per core. That's you just. Of course, I forgot that there's a construction site next door. Hopefully, it won't be too noisy. I don't know why the fuck they're working on it on a Saturday. All sorts of challenges and hindrances to this stream. Okay, unless I'm just sort of blatantly misreading this. You've got 4 separate buyers here for 4 separate chips. And what I'm going to do is the one with the star should be the best one. So what I'm actually going to do is I'll give it 25 more. And no, okay, so there's a sync button here. It might be off screen. Turn off the sync button. And then, dude, I mean, per core OC has been continuously a thing on AMD since at least AM3. At least. I mean, the Crosshair 6 on Ryzen 1st Gen had per core OC. I'm pretty sure. So that's applied. And it didn't work. Come on, Ryzen Master. What am I doing wrong? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. See, now we have desync, but the other cores are screwed. I mean, let's do it like this. Let's do 4975 sync. That should work. Yeah, and if I now do unsync and give this one a little bit more. Why is it throwing the other ones into down to 4,000? That's what I don't get. Let's see. I mean, the options probably won't work in Command Center, but Command Center doesn't expose it. See, even okay, it does. It does have a menu for it. It just doesn't. Seem to work on this. Oh, hold on. I know how we're gonna do it. It's just you need to think about it a little bit. So if I hit 5,000, okay, 5,000 synced, and now deselect this, and now throw in 4975 synced. Oh no, that's parking cores. I don't want to park that core, I just want to unsync. I mean, this should work. This should. Okay, so we can't step it up from 4975. Can I can't. There's no way for me to select 3 cores only. What if I'm determined to make this work. As you can probably guess. If I apply 5,000 synced, and then I unsync, and I individually apply 4975. No, it just doesn't want to do that. Okay, well, the long of the short of it is, were this an Zeus board, you would be able to do it. But the, I mean, I wish I were on the Crosshair 7 because I could just demonstrate it. But Zeus has like a utility that lets you set individual core clocks, and the per people have this misconception of it just being per CCX because I guess the thing is that more than likely cores in the CCX will clock so similarly to each other that there wouldn't be much benefit to clocking every core individually. But AMD has, since Phenom 2, at the very least, I mean, I think I've individually clocked 940 Black Edition. So at least since AM2, so since DDR2 has individual clocking. It's just, people always look at things from this perspective of, well, what does Intel do? And then we just assume that that's what everyone does. Intel only had per core hyperthreading disable and per core clocking from 11th gen onwards or something, and people were like, whoa, that's amazing. And I was like, AMD is at that for like 10 years. No, there was definitely there was, not in Turbo V, but there was like a command line utility for setting individual core clocks. I'm pretty goddamn sure about that. Okay, now what do we test next? Is the more important thing. For 4975. Let's do a few runs. So that was 6265. I mean, I can show you scores where I'm probably using that. I mean, What was a good chip I had? I think I had a 1700X that was good. I can show you scores. I mean, no doubt about it, it exists. And it continues to exist, but it's probably now off in obscurity because people don't really bench AM4 as much anymore. Yeah, that's a solid score. 35 pointer. Hopefully it's not all core. It's an all core score. God damn it. 1800X. I benched pretty much everything first gen, so where's my valid? 5.5. That's weak. That might be all core. Horizon 1600. Harabot. Oh, I think I went pretty hardcore on 2700X. That's all core. I'd imagine. Yep. Yeah, I was really trying for 6G on this, I think. So I downcored. There you go. Proof. On incontrovertible proof. Yeah, I'm talking mainstream platforms. Exitberries, X99 can do it. And this is not before you say, oh, you enable 2 cores in CCX1 and 2 cores in CCX2. No, I never did that. I did if I was downcoring, I was always kept downcoring last cores first, sort of thing. I don't think I went beyond that. Anyway, okay, so I wanted to note down the thing about it is everyone in the rankings is using this batch size 5M reduction 16, and I'd like to just really convince myself of the fact that 265 is really the best thing, because AMD used to like higher than that. It used to like 5M 256, that kind of thing. So that's a 6. These scores will be really close, but 6260. Six 260. Six 259. I'll do 5 runs. Six 260. So now let's do something that intuitively would be fast. 5M 256. Now the only issue is it might score differently to 1B, and I'm really optimizing for 1B, but 6309. Okay, it'll give me some guidance at least. And I think so the general gist with GPU Pi on CPU is that you may score worse with lower batch and reduction sizes, but you'll clock higher, and it tends to mean that at the very edge on LN2 you'll want low batch and reduction sizes, whereas on ambient, maybe because the clock gains aren't so much, you might not need that. I think my front cam is looking pretty today. I keep switching to it. So I'll let as much light in as possible, even though it's going to burn out my face, because that also lets What is a lot in air, which is badly needed. Okay. Let's try to fix this. Voila. It's not bad. I mean, voltage. This is CPU Z version 1.84, so you can imagine how old that score is. It is from April 2018, so I can't just offhand tell you. Let me try and remember all that I remember in terms of first and second gen valids. Okay, let's try 10M16. Ooh, faster. Interesting. Didn't expect that. Was it just a lucky run? Nope. It's just legit faster. Gotta always test everything, guys. People, the scores that are up might just all be horseshit. They often are. 247. .239. Very nice. Okay, so it seems like reduction kills. Okay, let's try 100. Okay, so 100, no run. That's fine though. Oh, why? For whatever reason in my head, the Ryzen Master and the Benchmate icons sort of look the same. Okay, so too much of a good thing. So 20M16, let's try that. That could be really fast. It is 6 point. I'm getting excited, guys. I'm getting very excited. Always test for yourself. Don't trust the pirates. A very good lesson to learn, and also a great thing, a great message to use your highlighted message on. Two for four. Very interesting. Okay, that was probably too many runs in a row. So, first and second gen valids. First gen was 14 nanometers, second gen was 12 nanometers. So voltage tolerance is quite high. I think I was even running multi-core like 1.8, 1.85. So very dependent on your chip, whether it liked high voltage. But the sort of range I would use would be between like 1.8 and 1.95 for volts. As it gets stuck, of course. And I do remember it having, you know, people always say test for your best core, but first gen was pretty crazy for like core to core variants. Yeah, that's kind of it. I don't know. It all seems so long ago. That was at the very beginning of my venture career, so to say. Norris, is that how to pronounce your name, Norris? I rep Australia. Nothing wrong with parrots, by the way. They are beautiful birds. Nori, okay. Welcome to the stream, Nori. as I'm just have a random hang. I don't know. This has already gone very different to how I imagine it, and but in a positive way, basically. So that's good. What's with this hanging on 42? I don't get it. It's like I'm not really doing anything like big. I'm just trying to boot the system. What do you guys think about postcode and button placement? I quite like the bottom right placement just because my rig tends to be to the left of me. Postcode at the top sometimes is a little bit tricky, like the sight lines. Okay, I think I need to just give it a clear. Holden. USB dropout. That sucks. Come on, board. You can do it. I like MSI's little utility here that lets you just load a. I mean, I should have probably just loaded a profile, but yeah, it lets you load a profile without even going into BIOS. It's pretty neat. Work this time. 02 I think is a good. The hell did the oh no, 42 is now the temperature. That's the only thing about that temperature display is if coincidentally the temperature is also a number which is you know a boot code, then you're in trouble, right? Okay, so what we were running is 1.5 volts, 49.75. Apply, 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 apply. I'm going to retest real time as well. Okie dokes. Three nine. One more run to complete the five run set. Two three eight. Okay. So now it's a balance. These two parameters. By the way, Alt C to run. So very like it's like an homage to SuperPi 32M, where Alt C also opens a run window, and I always do run confirmation because it separates out the compile step from the run step. So if you're on the edge on LN2, especially you might consider only clocking up after the kernels have been compiled, but the next best thing would be to have run confirmation on in such a way that the CPU load can dissipate, and then you run you press the run button when you're good to go. So these two are always a balance. So it liked 5M, 10M, 20M, and 100M doesn't run. and it like tended to like low reduction. But let's try. Let's just test everything. Let's try 1M16. We've got nowhere else to be, right? This is supposed to be a chill out stream, so let's try it. Yeah, okay, so 343. I'll do things that are quite obviously slow. I'll only do 3 runs of. But there's obviously run to run variance. Yeah, 343. I'm taking requests for another bench. If we get stuck, like if we hit a brick wall or something with GPU Pi, like a longer running bench to try, so I can talk more on stream, because this is a bit like, it's just the worst length of bench. It's so like fast. Okay, now on to 2M16. As expected, it's closer to the sweets, like the, let's say the sweet spot we're anticipating, which is going to be like a 20M16, 20M32 maybe. So the further away you go from the sweet spot in batch size and reduction combo, the slower it's going to be, and the closer you get, I mean, it's sort of obvious, but the closer it's going to be. .424. Wow, that's a slow one. So now we'll try 5M16. Yeah, just Nori, exclamation mark rig will tell you what I'm running. That's always going to be up to date. Ooh, that's because we're on to 5M16, right? Hold on. Is there no 4M? I want to try 4M16. I already have a 1B up, and I'm not going to beat it because that was on colder ambient. See here, 4.9. I mean, I might be able to squeeze a 4.925 or something, but it's certainly not worth wasting my time on now. And it did beat my previous 4 core, which was on chiller with the 12100F. Okay, so 6.273. Okay, now let's work our way down from. Okay, let's try 1M32. I'm curious. I don't expect great things, but curiosity is gonna get the better of me, and I'm gonna run it anyway. Anyone follow the NBA? DeMar DeRozan just dropped 46 points in a loss. In a style only he's 13 of 23 shooting, all 2-pointers, 20 of 22 from the line, 46 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers. Okay, for people who don't watch NBA, that's not going to be legible, like decipherable what I just said, but for everyone else, they'll be impressed, or they'll have already heard of it. Yeah, this is slow. Slower than 1M16 actually. I wonder if it catches up. Like 2M32, is that better than 2M16, or is it still slower? 6.44. Okay, let's do 2M32. I mean, because the bench is highly parallelized in terms of actual like clock for clock efficiency, the findings from 100M should be applicable to 1B as well. The only sort of caveat is, what if the degree to which the best batch and reduction size combination inhibits your clocks is different in 1B and 100M. But assuming infinite voltage, infinite cooling, or close to it, all of these findings should be like totally like transferable to the other bench. At what point does 32 get fast, or does it never get fast? I mean, this is being in the 400s for what's behind the decimal point. There's a lot of batch and reduction size combos that I tried earlier that I consider slow, that are in the threes. So, all right. What about 4M32? Is that starting to get to the sweet spot again, or? I mean, it'll certainly be faster, but will it be faster than 4M16? Or, you know, is the gap? No, it doesn't appear to ever pick up, actually, like close the gap. I do sort of wonder where, like, what other people are out there with my range of interests, like analog photography, extreme overclocking, basketball, baseball, and tennis. It must be like 0.001% of the population. Okay, 5M32. Is there any redemption in sight for this 32 reduction business? It's barely even like getting faster. So, 6.340. Okay. Now 6M. Oh, there is no 6M. What am I talking about? 10M. It looks faster. I mean, not by enough, but letting the temps drop to 50. Amaranth. Don't know if that's intended to be a joke. I mean, hot tub streamers are kind of dull. Once you get past the initial excitement of a hot tub streamer, they don't have much to say. Not that I would know, but you know, they have on occasion come on inadvertently while I was on the Twitch home screen, because they get pushed so much, right? Like is that an algorithm, or okay? So 20M 32 no run. Let's quit. So even if it's a little bit like SuperPie, right? After a failed run, even if you're able to complete a run following a failed run, it'll be slower. You want to relaunch the bench. There's one tip for you. Okay, so it was just temps. 6.330, 320. Very steady. So is the 100M, how much does it invalid buffer size? You know what we're gonna do next? I'm gonna get the raw version of GPU Pi 3.2 and I'm gonna run it without Benchmate and see what happens. Well, thanks for the kind words, Nori. So that changed HPET. So just for scientific veracity, I'm gonna run a few more runs, and I also rebooted, right? And you don't really want to. You want to try. It's hard, but you want to try and avoid comparing runs across boots, because sometimes you just boot fast, like you boot a faster config, for lack of a better word for that. Okay, so that's all applied. Now I'm gonna run my known best combo, which is 20M16, and I'm gonna do 3 runs of that, and then I'm gonna do 3 runs without the wrapper. $6.250. So that's 16 milliseconds slower than the best 20M16 I've had, and now it's not completing, even though my temps were in the 40s. Interesting. Very interesting. Please boot. O2 is usually a good sign. Come on. You can boot it. All right. Let's do another wrapped run and then an unwrapped run. Does anyone know why those weird dialog boxes come up on Win 10? I haven't even stripped this OS much. Okay, so all cores are applied, voltage is applied, open benchmark window, 100M, 20M, 16, run confirmation. It's not happy. Did I save any runs? I was at 1.5, right? So let's just do 1.55. And then we'll just have to accept that maybe it runs a little bit slower because of the extra heat, but then do a comparison of those new scores on 20M16 versus unwrapped 20M16. And then depending on how definitive those scores are, those runs are, go ahead with one or the other and then apply some other tweaks. So what came in this week? It was wrapped badly, unfortunately, but another NF7 board. My current one is dead. This the listing didn't specify CPU included. It didn't specify cooler included, but they shipped it cooler and CPU included, mounted, and badly wrapped. So hopefully alive. I haven't tested it yet, but I really want a socket A board to mess with that. That's probably as old as I'll go AMD for a long time. Okay, let's just get these runs out. I'll show some more hardware in a minute. Okay, let's give it 1.55. Apply, open this. Yeah, whatever. Apply. Okay, manual. Okay, that's weird that it suddenly wants me to apply volts. That's fine. Okay, I'll do 1.52 then. This utility is being a bit of a Nazi, to be honest. Tell me what I can't do. Okay, drop down. Oh, it's not applying anyway, so what's the big deal? Okay, benchmate, minimize, 20M, 16, run confirmation on. Just finish. Yeah. So we hit 58. So now we're even slower again. That's just the higher V core, right? 6252. It's getting quite close to what we scored with 6M16, but I'm not seeing clocks drop. What's going on here? Okay, so that was just a wild run. 6248. I'll do 5 runs because this is a pretty important comparison. Six, 2, 4, 2. Maybe I was a bit impatient with the rerun there. Okay, 4 runs will do. I'll do unwrapped now. Standalone, GPU Pi, 20M16. BFG CPUs, maybe a like a 2. I think I might have a 285, like a GTX 285, GTX 280 might be a BFG. Offhand, that's what I sort of remember. Okay, so let's apply this, then check here, and then it'll probably not have moved, which is the odd thing. Now, yeah, okay, it's giving us the same rating, so no V-droop variance. That's good. Don't want that to mess with our very scientific results here. Now, I wonder if hardware info comes into it. Because believe it or not, hardware info can influence scores. 6244. It's fast. I mean, if it's the same speed, I'll just run it unwrapped just for preference because it's easier to launch and stuff, and because I hate bench hate, and it's the death of benching. But okay, a 329 start is very good. Usually, it's a little bit like Super Buy again in the sense that your second run will most likely, I mean, not most likely, but I was going to say the second run is going to be the fastest run, but I think it's more along the lines of your first run is guaranteed not to be very fast. I mean, the differences are slight. So 6, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, it seems a little bit faster. I mean, I'll try a high rainfall off as well, just for like a total try hard. Yeah, it's not dissipating the heat well though. I mean, so I'm a bit lazy. So I wanted to keep the board. I mean, I'm obviously going to pull this heat sink, pull this heat sink, and pull this. But I didn't yet because I just got the board and I just like the new board feel for a bit, and it would look nice for the stream. But obviously, I think I have these mounted the wrong way. I think they're pulling and they should be pushing or whatever. But obviously, this fan should be on the second tower here. But the clearance was crap, and I didn't want to mount it so high up that the airstream is all fucked. So yeah, I mean that's an obvious improvement for my like third and fourth runs. Consistency would be mount the heater better and maybe use KPX under it. I just cheaped out a bit. I don't know. I have a bit of cold benching coming up, and feel it's just a feeling. I feel a little bit as though I'm going to be running slightly low on KPX, and I don't want ambient benching to be the reason I actually run out before I can get more of it in. So yeah, I just made a very irrational decision to run this entire stream on GD900. But anyway, you get the idea. The score is up. There's a really pick up with the score. There's no denying that it did 5G on air. It just won't do it in these ambience on this paste. Okay, so what did I want to do? I'd only done 3 runs, so even though it's across reboots, I'll do a 4th run unwrapped. But I'm happy that the unwrapped is fast. And I'll also do high rainfall off. Two, 4, 8. And I'll do a relaunch because I'm sort of waiting for the temps to go down anyway. So high rainfall off, relaunched. This will be interesting. I'll just do 3 runs. I mean, it might just benefit you like in the intangibles, not in the score being better, but like the run starts quicker. And all that high rainfall really does is it fills it when you save the valid file, it saves the clocks and the temps and things in there, and often those are wrong, so I prefer it not to be pure filled. So even for that, it's nice to have high rainfall off. Third run is always a hang for whatever reason. Weird. Yeah, I didn't expect it to really do anything to the score as such, but I just wanted to test it just again for a bit of like peace of mind kind of thing. Will I bench the chip for a W prime CC? Maybe. I don't know. Hey, Matthew WRS. MX6. I don't know. Here's how I stand in terms of hardware. I only care about hardware in as much as it's benching relevant. I don't really run a daily at all. Or gaming. I don't game. I game on an Xbox One. That's it. Further to that, within benching, I'm not a big like snake oil type person. Like there's a lot of people who are like, oh bro, you gotta use the like reactor pot, or I think generally speaking, I mean there's always exceptions, right? You don't want to run an F1 pot on X299. Okay, so there's certain scenarios in which a pot just doesn't have enough like weight to it, basically, is how I describe it, to run a really heavy multi-core bench. But in general, the differences between pots are exaggerated. And in general, for benching, in general, there's always differences, but you know, I'm quite happy with my T-Rex for pretty much everything. And then the other thing that's also exaggerated a lot is differences between pastes. Okay, so here's my third run with hardware info off. Man. I thought I was safe at 4.975. Anyway. So yeah, MX. I mean, whatever people are happy with. Like some people just buy paste because of the color and stuff, but just don't expect any wonders out of it. I mean, in a weird sort of way, like this is probably like a kind of dumb thing to say, but in a weird sort of way, benching, paste is more important to daily than it is to benching, because in benching you change pastes every mount anyway, right? Whereas a lot of the differences I feel like that come into play with paste are how quickly it dries up. Like, do you have to change it every year or every 2 years? Like, so in a weird way, it's like paste is more relevant to daily. All right, just give me this one run with hardware info off, please. I'll let the dust settle. Will we get a 40? It's still at 41. 40. Let's do it. I mean, if you really wanted to go hardcore, you could actually start every run at the same temperature as well. Be like, okay, we need to be idling at 40 every run, because I mean, Intel is famous for that, right? Like where it sort of does like a little bit of stealth throttling due to temps, even like ambient. Okay, what's next? What I'm gonna do next is real time. So these I'm sort of going through the motions. Like I don't expect a lot of these tweaks to do very much, but I'm just saying that on a new chip and like a new architecture and a new bench. This is kind of new to me. I mean, I don't think, when's the last time I ran GPU Pi seriously? Like 2000 series probably. These are the steps I go through. Oh, I love how the batches come out in globs like that. That on its own is worth the price of admission. Okay, let's wait for 40 degrees. Okay, so no, you don't need HPT enabled. Yeah, I could. I mean, I'm happy to just go unwrapped for the moment, but yeah, that's a valid point. Is that there's tweaks inside of Benchmate for this bench as well. Cinebench hates it. Well, we're at 37 idle. Nice. Dono button. There should be a get bits button in the top right hand corner. Like bits are the way to donate on Twitch, as far as I'm aware. I haven't really sort of looked into it any like recently. Yeah, real time was slower the last time I tested it, but I just won 3 runs. 46 idle, 45 idle. .245, yeah. So 6.245, 243 was my other best one. So here, you heard it here first, guys. This is a little tweak that maybe not that many people know about, but I'm going to share it because we're amongst friends. You can minimize the bench window, and on a really slow system, so on single and dual cores, this is OP. On this, I'm not expecting much, but basically what you're doing is it's a little bit like running Cinebench off screen, where the load of rendering the window itself, like the graphical load, basically, that obviously a little bit of the CPU gets tied up in as well, is avoided or minimized. And similar here, you're no longer. I mean, it's just totally like minuscule, but the sort of load of rendering the window itself is no longer there. It helped. Shit, I shouldn't have shared this tweak. Anyway, just forget you saw that. 6.226. I didn't know if it would do anything on this 4-core 8 thread, but apparently it does. Is that my best run ever? Let's scroll back. I had a 6.234. I think, yeah, that's the best run. I mean, it's hardly anything very innovative. People have run 1M, SuperPi 1M, especially minimized on like LGA 1366 systems and stuff for years and years and years. But it's just the same thing applied to GPU Pi. Okay, let's see if we can keep this streak going and get an even faster run. So what I play on console is literally just Diablo 3, which is an ancient game really at this point. I mean, yeah. 6.350. I'm seeing a lot of slow second runs. Maybe it was a total fluke. Who knows? Yeah. I think a lot of the time when people run pace that aren't Thermal Grizzly, Gelid, or KPX Cold, it's because they run out of their main paste or whatever, which is fair enough. 6.226 again. I like it. We're getting places. Okay, so at this point, I should probably mention that there is AMD have not released an OpenCL runtime in so long that actually the fastest OpenCL runtime on AMD now is the Intel one, and it's the 2.1, and there is a 3.0, but the 3.0 always fails at batch 4. So if someone could get it running, first 4 batches, it's faster, but you can't get it complete on it. So in terms of SDK, I'm pretty limited in what I can do. I can run this or a slower one or one that fails. So yeah, not very exciting. So we've got our HBT on. We've tried our off screen. It's a shame that perf bias isn't a thing anymore. You used to love perf bias. Let's go deep into our sub timings a little bit and just see if we can eke something out there. This is fun. I like efficiency testing. Okay, so just save over the previous profile. mean, I think RAS goes really low on Ryzen, right? What's even the lowest there? I would feel that 21 should post. So the CLI is not HyperBot valid because I think it runs the same workload, but you don't end up with a validation file, and the only valid way, HyperBot valid way of running or submitting HyperBot is with a validation file, and if you don't get a validation file, then you're just hosed. Doesn't seem as though it like that. Maybe I was just bashing delete too much. Just make sure that we... Ooh. Yeah, that's a real struggle, isn't it? Is that a fail? A6. No, it seems to be okay. I'm a bit suspicious of it though. So what's the lowest? 29 is the lowest TRC. I would imagine that 280 should work for TRC. Well, let's try. I'll certainly, if this posts, I'll certainly have to run it because we're sort of going quite tight there. Okay, let's you know, sometimes board this is a new board, so I'll go into send timings because sometimes odd things happen. You know, they don't it tells you to train one thing but it didn't. Okay, so 21, 29, 280. Nice. So now let's just keep running off screen all the time. Let's just see if we can really like maybe even hit the 6.1 XX seconds mark. That'd be nice. $100M 1216. That seemed fast. Nah, wasn't. I think I'm being greedy rerunning it 55 degrees there. No, okay, that's giving us nothing. I don't want to make a habit of it, but I'm gonna attempt to post 4600 RAM, 2300 FCLK just to see if the scaling I was seeing last night is going to continue on. Like, is that an avenue worth pursuing? I don't know how this is going to go. Yeah, we'll just see. Do you want to save over that? Maybe. I mean, the timings didn't do anything, but let's try. So it's just the tiniest amount, maybe 1.39. Just 1.325 to 1.35. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I was getting last time, 54. But it's almost like a RAM postcode, right? $54 is more like RAM related, but then how do you really keep apart RAM and FCLK on a system like this? 22, okay, time for a clear. I mean, my sticks are voltage hungry. Did you say, so is the current limit 2.2 or 2? 2 is not a lot. There must be some tertiary or something that I'm over tightening, but it should still run it. So even if the limit is 2, I'm at 1.95. Maybe the extra 50 millivolts give me what I need. Hopefully. 2. Oh, thanks for the cheer. I just like to see. Is there a way to always have it be in advanced mode on boot? There is on Gigabyte. I just can't imagine that just a tiny bit of extra RAM, is it really gonna screw me that much? Okay, let's give it 2 and just see. Yeah, I have to hit F7 to see. Now it's giving me a D1. I just can't imagine it being RAM. I think it's still more like IMC related, like FCLK related. Okay. In the interest of science, I'm gonna go 1.4 VSOC and see if that does it. Heard the Aussie muscle car. Yeah, maybe that's another. So how old is this XOC bias? Like, what G size is it based off of? My little green alien lost an arm. Actually, I need to super glue it together again so I can put it next to my GPU again where it belongs. Okay, let's do it. F7, load. Why is it so hard? Is it? Okay. Max the RAM volts just to be sure there. And let's go 1.4 here. And I just can't imagine needing more than 75 millivolts for, what is it, 66 FCLK. It's doing something. It's just not happy. Okay, let's take a different approach. I'm gonna set FCLK to mem clock divided by 2. See how high the RAM goes, like desync from the FCLK. Then do a run at the highest RAM I can do at CL14. See how that influences the score. If it's better, obviously I'm gonna run desync from then on. If it's worse, then I'll just have to go the route of tightening back down again at 4533. What else can I do, right? Crotch rocket. Oh no, it's booting. No, I don't want to boot. Why would I want to boot? Doesn't the board know me by now? $1201 is a newer old. I don't really have a frame of reference. Okay, F7, load. Now divide by 2. And an auto should give me like a sensible FCLK, right? I mean, that should post. Very old. Yeah, I don't want to mess with old GSAs. Okay, so is there a way for this bias to tell me what my current FCLK is? I mean, I can sort of deduce, but I mean, like, you know how Gigabyte and Asus have status pages? It doesn't appear to be the case. Okay, I'll save that. I love naming motherboard profiles try, because very often I'm just trying something that I don't know, and I don't know whether it's going to work out. Okay, see, now we go 4600. I think I might just have a weak IMC. I mean, how is it not capable of 4600 C14? It doesn't really make any sense to me. So I'm in this bizarre situation where memory clock is limiting my FCLK. It's usually the other way around. It's like you can slam in 4800 straight away, but you might have trouble getting 2400 FCLK. But now I'm like gonna loosen my RAM in order to be able to do the RAM clocks I need in order to match my FCLK. That's so backwards. Well, next thing I try is just auto everything on timings and see how high I can go on RAM, right? I mean, tightening the RAM did help me in score, but if it's at the expense of 200 FCLK or something, then I don't think that'll be a good thing. I didn't save it, like wiped my profile for some reason. Okay. So we need to desync again. We need to do divided by 2. Or maybe auto is going to be good enough? I don't know. And now let's try 4600. Everything on auto. I mean, how can that not work? Mem, try it. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to sort of independently find all my limits now, because the like assumption that FCLK would like determine everything is wrong. So I mean, 48 auto timings should work. I mean, even 4933 auto timing should work, to be honest. I don't know if I can go that high FCLK though. Remember overclocking before overclocking profiles? I mean, I should probably just auto it, but 4933 divided by 2, 2466. Will it do that at 1.325? 0D straight away. But what was the deal with sock voltages? Don't they degrade your chip pretty quickly? I'm gonna go like 1.45 just for one run, just to see what the score is, if I can. It's safe on the APUs, but not on the like regular chips. Why? What? I would have thought that would be worse. Like, you know, Bulldozer, the APUs are way more fragile in terms of what's the voltage even called? VNB, is it? VAPU, whatever they call it. It's called differently by different people. 2467, right? Okay, 1.45. And some people raise VDD as well, isn't it? Well, it's not that D postcode that we were expecting. Okay, that seems to be posting. I'm gonna go straight into OS and see what happens. It'll be interesting. I mean, I don't really expect to be able to run 4933 full pot, but it'd certainly be an interesting finding if this were to score well. Yeah, I mean, it's different on LN2, right? Like, I think I ran 1.65 sock on a 3600 just to get it full pot, because sock and FCLK together sort of determine your whether you full pot or not. Okay, so nicely synced up. I mean, disastrous timings, but that's fine. We still need to run our clocks up. Hi, Tyrant. Yeah, but I mean, on LN2, everything's different. I mean, what I'm trying to do is keep this CPU in a good shape to run at LN2. 6.253. It's sort of within the margin of error, isn't it? What's another bench I could run that would actually pass at these clocks? Okay, let's YOLO a bit of W prime. Nah. What else likes high FCLK? That's what we're trying to determine right now, is how memory bound it is. It's insanely memory bound, like full pot Intel. There's a lot of games to be had. People have even run it with memory on LN2, but on this platform, yeah, not so much. Nice. What's a nice quick bench? Maybe. I mean, let's try R12.5 or 11.5 rather. Well, PyFast and PyPrime would want a little bit tighter RAM. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's see, just for a second. Let's see what degree of tightening the IMC will put up with at these RAM clocks. So will it do 2T CL15? Let's say. Let's just start like that as like a base thing. My voice is starting to go though. And we are hitting the 2-hour mark. But I just want to run like 10 minutes more of stuff. I'm just curious. I hope you all learned a little bit about GPU Pi today. There's still much more. There's asynchronous clocking, which I alluded to earlier. There's a lot you can do. It's a good bench. It's a very, very good bench. That all looks in order. Is it a bugged command rate? Like, does it really auto to 1T? That doesn't make any sense. Auto is always 2T, right? What does Zen timing tells me? 1T, okay. Interesting. Is it this gear down fuckery though? Like, I feel like it's not real 1T. Yeah, okay, gear down. Yeah, I thought so. Not seeing the gains yet. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep. Let's try and set true 1T. CL14. Nah, I don't want to save over that. I don't want to set the name, I just want to save over it. F9. It doesn't want to do 1T, does it? Huh. Are we retrying through it? Nah, okay. Okay, let's try to go back to the previous settings of CL14 with actual 1T, and then pick out a bench where we can go gold in, which is going to be hard because a lot of it is on LN2 apparently. Do we have R23 on the system? Damn, that's LN2. $1080p maybe? No, that's single stage. This is one of those chips that has the highest LN2 to total number of subs ratio. It's kind of laughable actually. Seven subs. Five, how many is it? 5 of them cold? Oh, it's got to be a bench like Simbench 2003. Even that is the Brazilian, which is probably LN2. Yeah, damn it. Okay, Cinebenches are out. That's cool. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. This is probably cold as well. Yep. Man, I'm going to be going really obscure here. I mean, I might be able to just cheese these two. Nah, Yas has already cheesed them for me. Nah, okay. Paco? Is that Paco? Single stage. Oh, Chispy. Wow. That really is interesting. This is SS, right? That'll be tough. What's the next best thing? $4.8 on LN2. I mean, it doesn't sound insane, to be honest. How much? It's like 4.5 memory, right? Nah. It's crazy to think that there's no ambient gold on a CPU that was barely even benched. Okay, what's a one that actually gives points for second place? That's what I want to know. No, that's crazy. R15 has an SS first, so I would imagine no LN2 again. Okay, sad state of affairs, but I'm gonna attempt to beat this R15. $22.62 CL16. Okay. Let's do a 4.6 add 1.5 and see where we land. Did I say 1.5? I meant 1.45, as in the thing that's already set. Looks reasonable. Cinebench R20. I mean, we'll probably know when it fails due to like temps and shit, so I'll just go real time straight away because it gives so much of a boost. Okay, now let's catch up on the chat. Over 2666, gear down mode 1T is default. Set address, command setup. What does address command set up to? 71 degrees. I'm glad I'm only at 1.45. I have never heard of that setting before. I'm not the biggest current gen of Verizon expert. Get on mode off is a hassle to run. Doesn't usually work right away. Can the IMC run T416? Trade-off is worth it. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. 73. Wow. Okay. So what else I had to show you here was I already showed you the socket A board, but what I've been benching last week was more. If anyone watched last week's stream, I was talking about running 5200 plus. I ran more on this board. I'm liking this board more and more, even though it's limited to 1.55 V core without mods. I got a score out that I'm sort of proud of, I would say. Beat a dice score on air. So it's showing 74 degrees and appears to still be running. So I took a load of these. It just finished, by the way, but we'll come back to it. So I might just kick off a new run. 20. So we're trying to beat. Oh God, this person doesn't know what they're doing. Look at this score and look at my score. Ah, wrong fucking Cinebench. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm the noob around here. Now I need to launch it in real time. Hopefully 44 idle is a good attempt to kick things off again. Okay, so back to AM2. Really liking the platform. Going to run through many more chips, but I think on the 5200 plus I'm kind of done. I got just squeaked in second place here, beating dice, but iSulk, I think what does me in is, I don't know if it's the board, maybe I need to run on the M2RS LAN party to see if I can push memory higher, but I seem to only be able to do like 450 to 500, whereas he's just like rocking out 517 C4 through 32M, which is just giving him such an advantage. I also couldn't get Waza going. So that's 32M, that's kind of gone. I mean, I could cheese it and go cold, but 1M is interesting because I can run higher stuff. I'm not a million miles away from this dice score, believe it or not, even though I'm 60 megahertz worse. It's just, for whatever reason on this platform or on this chip or on this board maybe, I'm finding that high fast is easier to run at high frequencies than 1M is. And you kind of have like multiplier holes and stuff. It all gets a bit complicated. But essentially, again, 462 C4, it's, you know, super tight, but still not great. Max on the core, I'd like to be able to run like 100 more core, not for the boost that the core gives, but the slightly higher RAM I get for it, but I can't. Certainly not on this cooling. But then the pièce de résistance, my French is great, isn't it? No, it's not. Is 36 megahertz down on Yukikazi. It's an 11.5-year-old gold for 35 points. Funnily enough, it's globals as well, which is just hilarious. On dice, running 534, 4443 on a LAN party, and I somehow out efficiencyed him with less core, less memory clock, slower timings, and that was cool. That took a lot of work, but it's cool. Okay, now, so we've got our score. Where is is this? Here you go. Okay, 1311. I'm at 1277. So yeah, 1277 at 4.6. Let's do 4.7. At least you know R15 will run. Yeah, there's positives to everything, isn't there? Okay, so now we've once again got 37 idle temps. So anyone in chat run AM2 before? It's a lot of fun. Okay, set it to 60 first and then lower to 40. Interesting. Okay, so our target is 1311. But then the 1301, he's got half a multi on me though. So I'll match it. I'll try to match his clocks first. Then after that, I might have to ask myself some deep questions if I can't match his efficiency. Okay, but for now, everything appears normal. For now. 45. I might let it trend down a bit. So yeah, always fun to beat an old record like that. Okay, 39. Let's run. But the one that'll be really tough. So I think the Cinebenches would fall if I were to take this chip cold. But Valids. Now there's an interesting power position. And just always an interesting mix of cooling methods on AM2. You know, you've got like ale with the really strong water versus like probably highly temperature managed dice and an even more temperature managed LM2. Huge gap though. Okay, there we go. 70 degrees, 5 Cinebench points up on the next guy. What more do you want? I'm gonna go end the stream and get a drink. Not an alcoholic one, just like my throat is killing me. Hopefully you all learned a bit about GPUPy. It's certainly been fun for me. A little bit weird how it all ended up with ambient making such a big difference, but tonight with nice amounts of air cooling coming through this door, maybe it'll all be different again. I'm really looking forward to freezing this chip, and I sort of kind of hope it'll get close to global first, because then I'll optimize the mount and maybe delid. I mean, I'll have to check it tonight in 1B as well, but if I have a better batch and reduction size than the first guy, because let's just go back to this. Everyone's on the same 5M16. If I've truly found something that runs faster, 5M16, right? We're on the same OpenCL. I think I could. I mean, that score is at just under 5.7. I think. I mean, it all depends on how this chip runs cold, but I think I could maybe even out efficiency first place. Okay. I don't know if I'll stream next week because I'll have that on too, but it's been a fun stream, and I'll try to keep this up in the coming weeks. And thanks for watching, and like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff.